Hello students, welcome back to Let Us Master English. Today we are going to continue modals. Contents of this video are: what are modals? How do we use modal verbs? List of modals, various uses of modal verbs, characteristics of modal verbs, then usage of shall, should, will, would in detail. And at the end of the video, there is going to be a homework for you, practice exercise, and you can also find answers to lecture 1 practice exercise. So students, let's get started. Now students, first of all, let us learn what are modals. Modals, also called modal verbs, modal auxiliary verbs, or modal auxiliaries, are special verbs which behave irregularly in English. They are different from normal verbs like read, write, cook, learn, run, play, sit, stand. They give additional information about the function of the main verb that follows it. Modal verbs are can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, ought to, needn't. So modal verbs add a meaning to the main verb by expressing possibility, ability, permission, or obligation. Modal verbs have a great variety of communicative functions. First, let us see what is the difference between normal verb and modal verb. Let us understand this using one example. I speak English. Here I have framed simple present tense and I have used normal verb speak. So I am telling you, I speak English. मैं English बोलती हूँ. Now let us add modal verb before speak. I can speak English. So here what I am trying to convey is, I am telling you that I am able to speak English. मैं English बोल सकती हूँ. So here this sentence expresses ability. So this modal verb adds a meaning to the main verb. Now let us see one more example. You should speak English. Now in place of can, here I have used should. So what am I doing now? Here I am giving you advice that you should speak English. So modal auxiliaries express the mode or manner of actions denoted by the verbs. It tells you about the mood of the speaker. What does the speaker want to express? Whether the speaker is giving you advice or he is telling about his wish, his ability, any possibility, whether he is giving you permission or want to seek permission from you. Here are some more examples. I shall gladly visit your house. You should stand united. Now students, let us see how do we use modal verbs. Modal auxiliaries are used along with main verbs. They are not used alone. For example, he will get good marks. So here he is the subject, will is the modal verb, and get is the main verb. And we have used will before the main verb. Let's see one more example. Gandhiji would spin every morning. So here Gandhiji is the subject, would is the modal verb, and spin is the main verb. So these modal verbs are always used along with main verbs. Please keep this in mind. Now students, here is a list of modals. So, in the positive sense, we use can, could, may, shall, will, should, ought to, might, used to, would, have to, has to, had to, must. This is a list of modal verbs. And when you have to express negative meaning, then you can use not after that. For example, can, negative is cannot. And when you are converting the modal verb into negative, it can also be contracted. Instead of writing cannot, we can write can't. Same way could, negative is could not, which can also be written as couldn't. So I hope you have understood this. Now students, let us see use of modal verbs. What type of functions does a modal verb express? Modal verbs are used to express functions such as permission, when you have to give permission or you have to seek permission, you use a modal verb. For example, may we play here? So, we have used may, which is a modal verb. So, here we are seeking permission from someone using the modal verb may. Number 2, ability. I can study the whole night. So here the modal verb can expresses your ability. That I can study the whole night means I am able to study the whole night. मैं सारी रात पढ़ सकता हूँ. Next function is obligation. You should keep your promise. Prohibition. A man cannot travel in ladies' compartments. He is prohibited from traveling in the ladies' compartment. Lack of necessity. You needn't stay here. Advice. You ought to work hard to stand first. So advice can be given using should or ought to. Possibility. The old lady must be feeling tired. Probability, he must be watching TV. We can also express promise using modal verbs. We will give him a warm reception. So these are some of the functions of modal verbs. Now students, let us learn some more uses of modal verbs. A modal does not change according to the number or person of the subject. For example, I can dance, we can dance, you can dance, he can dance, they can dance. Now students, when you learned tenses, there you saw that we change the verb according to the number. If a person is singular, so we say I dance, but when it is third person, we say he dances. So normal verbs, they change according to the number or person. Number means singular or plural. Person means first person, second person or third person. But modal verbs does not change according to the number or person. With I, we used can. For you also we have used can. For he also we have used can. So they do not change. Next usage. A modal is always used with a verb in its basic form. Basic form is first form of the verb. The modal takes the tense while the main verb remains in its dictionary form. For example, I can play, first form of verb, I may play, I could play, I might play. So after a modal verb, we always use first form of verb. But the exception is if after modal verb you have used have, then we can use third form of verb. I could have played. Modals can be used alone in response to a question. See, in the previous slide, I told you that modals are never used alone. They always are followed by main verb. But when you are giving a response to a question, somebody has asked you a question using a modal verb. In response to that question, you can use modal verb alone. For example, can you drive a car? So here if you are answering I can, the sense of the sentence is clear. Will you solve this sum? I will. May I take this pen? You can or you may. So when we are giving response to a question, that time modal verb can be used alone in conversation. Modals when joined with not to form a negative can be contracted. This also we have seen in our previous slide. She cannot swim. We can write it as she can't swim. He would not go. This can also be written as he wouldn't go. Now students, let us see some characteristics of modal verbs. Here are some characteristics of modal verbs. Modal verbs never change their form. You can't add s, ed or ing. For example, he will arrive soon. We cannot write he wills arrive soon or he will arriving soon. This is absolutely incorrect. They are always followed by an infinitive without to. That is the bare infinitive. Infinitive means to plus first form of verb. Bare infinitive means first form of verb without to. So here modals are always followed by first form of verb, that is bare infinitive. For example, she might join the campaign. If you write she might to join the campaign, this is wrong. So students, if you keep these things in mind, you will be able to solve editing, omissions and gap filling correctly. So you know, modal verbs are used to indicate modality and allow speakers to express certainty, possibility, willingness, obligation, necessity, or ability. Now students, today in this video, we are going to learn 4 modal verbs in detail. That is, uses of shall, should, will, and would. Now first let us learn about shall. Use 1 is shall with the first person is I and we, is used to express simple future. See students, in tenses, in simple future tense, you have seen that we use shall with I or we. So same uses here. For example, I shall be there by 8 a.m. So here we are expressing simple future. Next point, shall with the second and third person. Second person is you, third person he, she, it, they is used. Number 1, to express a command. if you have used shall with you, he, she, they, so it is used either to express a command. For example, he shall report for duty tomorrow. So here a command is given. To express a threat. For example, she shall be expelled from college for her misbehavior. So it is a threat. To express a promise. For example, she shall get a reward for her faithfulness. So when you are using shall with you, he, she, they, that time it does not express future. Rather, it expresses command, threat, or promise. Next use, in interrogative sentences, that is questions, shall is used with first person to express an offer, request, advice, or suggestion. For example, shall I carry your bag? So here this expresses offer. हम दूसरे के सामने ऑफर रख रहे हैं कि क्या मैं आपका बैग उठा सकती हूँ. Number 2, shall I open the door? So this way in interrogative sentences, shall expresses offer, request, advice, or suggestion. Now students, let us learn the use of should. Should is the past tense of shall. It is used to denote past tense of shall in indirect speech. Now students, you must have learned reported speech where you change direct speech into indirect speech. There you must have seen your teachers telling you that shall changes into should. For example, I said that they should report for duty on Monday. Now the main purpose of should, to express duty or advice. For example, you should respect your elders. So here an advice is given to you. आपको अपने elders की respect करनी चाहिए. You should visit your dentist at least twice a year. साल में कम से कम 2 बार आपको अपने डेंटिस्ट से मिलना चाहिए. So again we are giving advice. You should drive carefully in bad weather. तो जब भी हम आपको बताते हैं आपको ये करना चाहिए, आपको ये नहीं करना चाहिए, so there use of should is made. Should is used to express duty or advice. Next use, to express purpose. For example, run slow lest you should fall down. So lest shows the chance of happening or not happening. It means run slow, धीरे दौड़ो, नहीं तो आप गिर जाओगे. We took a taxi so that we shouldn't miss the flight. We took a taxi. What was the purpose of taking taxi? So that we shouldn't miss the flight. ताकि हमारी flight miss ना हो जाए. So here we are using should to express purpose. Next use is to show assumption or inference. You are assuming something that this thing would have happened. For example, he should have come by now. Next, to express probability. For example, should they play well, they will win. So, probability of winning is there if they play well. So should is also used to express probability. Now students, let us see use of will. Will with the second and third person, that is you, he, she, they, is used to express simple future. So in simple future, we use will with second and third person. For example, he will leave for Canada tomorrow. Next usage, will is used with first person also, but when we use will with first person, that time it doesn't express simple future, rather it expresses wish, request, demand, or order. And students, when you use will, it is less polite than would. For example, will you please shut the door? So here we are expressing request. It is also used for prediction or assumption. For example, I think it will rain on Friday. So here you are predicting कि फ्राइडे को बारिश होगी. Next point is, it is used for promise or intention. For example, I will stop smoking. So here it is not expressing future, rather it is showing your intention. For spontaneous decision, for example, can somebody drive me to the station? I will. Habits, for example, she is strange. She will sit for hours without talking. Next point is voluntary action or willingness. For example, I will make dinner tonight. So this is my voluntary action. I am showing my willingness कि आज dinner मैं बनाऊंगी. Now students, let us see uses of would. Would is the past of will. It is used, number one, to denote past tense of shall or will in indirect speech. From direct to indirect speech, when you change shall or will, you change that into would. For example, she said that she would go. Next use, to express habitual activity in the past. The action which you used to do in the past often. For example, she would go to the temple at sunrise. So this was her past habit of going to temple in the morning at sunrise. Use number 3, to express request. So making request using would is more polite than will. For example, would you shut the door please? Next use, to express a wish. यहाँ आप अपनी wish बता रहे हैं. Example, would that I were a king. काश मैं एक राजा होता. To express a preference. For example, I would rather die than beg. भीख मांगने के बजाय मैं मरना पसंद करूंगा. Number 6, to express improbable or unreal condition. Condition that is not real. For example, if I were elected president next year, you are not the president. I would cut the cost of education. So here we are talking about unreal condition or situation that is not there. So students, I hope you would have understood the use of shall, should, will and would. And in my previous lecture, I have also taught you about may, might, can and could. Now here is a practice exercise for you. Homework time. Fill in the blanks with appropriate modal auxiliary verbs. So here you are given 3 options and you have to choose the most appropriate one. In this slide also, options are given and in bracket also it is told what you have to express. So please fill this up. Now students, one more practice exercise for you. Find the mistakes and correct them. Purposely some mistakes are put in each of the sentences and you have to correct and rewrite the sentences on your own. Now students, here you can find answers to lecture 1. So you would have done your homework. Please pick up your notebook and match your answers. Number 1, my grandmother is 85, but she can still read and write without glasses. Number 2, can I come with you? 3, could you help me with the housework, please? Number 4, there was a time when I could stay up very late. Number 5, our country may become a superpower by 2025. Number 6, she might sell her home because she needs money. Students, thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like the video, please press the thumbs up button, do comment and share my video with your friends. Thank you very much.